Good night. May the peace of the Lord now fill your heart, and may this night be a time of true, deep, and restorative rest for you. I pray that every inner noise, every worry that tries to disturb your tranquility, may now be silenced by the presence of the Holy Spirit. May you feel God's care surrounding your home, guarding your mind, body, and soul, so that you may rest safely. May nothing disturb your sleep, for the Lord is with you. Psalm 139 begins by reminding us of something profound and comforting. God knows our every thought. He is not a distant Father, but someone who perceives from afar what goes on in the depths of our minds. This means that even what you cannot express in words, what only you feel silently, the Lord already knows. There are no hidden thoughts before Him. When you sit or get up, when you sigh or try to quiet your mind before sleeping, He is attentive. This truth can transform your night. Often you lie down carrying the worries of the day, bills, relationships, health, difficult decisions. Your mind spins like a never-stop gear, repeating the same thoughts. But what seems chaotic to you is already completely clear to God. He understands what you feel, knows what ails you, and more than that, has already prepared care for tomorrow. Nothing surprises the Lord. Think about it. The same God who created the universe, who calls the stars by name, and who sustains life in every detail, also cares about what you think now. He doesn't think what you feel is too small, doesn't dismiss your worries as irrelevant. On the contrary, He bends down to hear even the quietest thoughts of your heart. This means you don't have to carry anything alone. When anxiety grows within us, it tries to convince us that we are alone with our fears. But the psalmist declares, "You have searched me and known me." The Lord has already walked the path of your mind, seen the dark corners where you harbor your insecurities, visited the places where you feel pain. And His response is never abandonment, but acceptance. He is with you in every detail. So as you prepare for bed, take a deep breath and imagine surrendering every thought to the Lord. Perhaps thoughts of guilt, frustration, or uncertainty. Perhaps memories that hurt you or worries about what might happen tomorrow. Place everything before God. No need to organize or explain, just surrender. He knows how to interpret even the thoughts you don't fully understand. This surrender brings refreshment to the soul. As Psalm 23 says, He restores our soul. Mental fatigue can be as heavy as physical fatigue, but there is relief when we let God take control of our mind. He is able to calm the inner storms, bringing clarity, silence, and peace. You don't need to fight every thought alone, just allow the Lord to rule your inner self. And remember, surrendering is not denying. It doesn't mean pretending there are no problems or fears, but trusting that even in the face of them, God is already taking care of them. He is the only one capable of transforming heaviness into lightness, noise into rest, confusion into direction. Faith doesn't eliminate thoughts, but places them in their rightful place, in the hands of the Creator. Lord, I pray now for this life that is listening. You who search and know every thought, receive this weary mind now. Where there is anxiety, pour peace. Where there is fear, pour confidence. Where there is doubt, pour clarity. May this person lie down, not struggle alone against their mind, but feel your spirit bringing rest and refreshment. May they sleep with the certainty that they are known by you. And before closing your eyes, do this simple exercise. Silently tell the Lord everything that occupies your mind, or simply imagine surrendering each thought into His hands. And then repeat in your heart, "The Lord knows my thoughts and I rest in Him." This is the key to a peaceful night. If you wish to continue receiving prayers that calm the mind and strengthen faith, subscribe to our channel and walk with us in this purpose of living peaceful nights in the presence of God. This night's rest can be even more special when you remember that God knows all your ways. The psalmist declares, "You know my work and my rest. All my ways are well known to you." This means that nothing in your life goes unnoticed by the Lord. Every step, every effort, every pause, everything is watched by the Father's watchful eye. He doesn't get lost in the details of your story. On the contrary, He guards each one with love. When you feel lost, it's as if there's no clear direction. But the Word assures you, your ways are well known to God. He knows exactly where you are and where you need to go. You may face situations where you seem to be going in circles with no way out. But for God, there is no confusion. His paths are open before Him, like a detailed map that reveals the beginning, the middle, and the end. This certainty should bring peace to your heart tonight. How often do you feel like no one understands your struggles? That your journey is lonely, full of invisible burdens that others don't notice, but the Lord sees. He knows the weight of your day, the effort you make to keep going, even when fatigue speaks louder. And He doesn't just see, He sustains. As Psalm 121 says, "The Lord guards your going out and your coming in, both now and forevermore." This means that, whether you work and strive or rest, God is watching over you. Sometimes we think we need to be constantly active for something to happen, but the truth is that even in rest, the Lord works on our behalf. When you lie down and surrender your body to rest, He continues to guard your life, caring for what you cannot control, watching over what is beyond your strength. It's beautiful to realize that the paths God knows aren't just the big moments, but also the small ones. He knows when you get up in the morning, when you take a simple step, when you make seemingly ordinary choices. This shows that you are fully known and accompanied in every detail, and there is nothing you experience, no matter how small, that is beyond God's attention. At night, it's natural for thoughts to try to remind you of past mistakes or future worries. But when you remember that God knows your ways, you can rest, because if He knows, He has also already prepared guidance, correction, and protection. Tomorrow will not be a surprise to Him, and this frees you from the burden of trying to control what hasn't even arrived yet. Lord, I pray for this life now. You who know all its paths, watch over every step, every decision, and every rest. May they feel your hand holding and guiding them during the day, and your care bringing peace at night. Where there are paths of fear, open roads of trust. Where there is indecision, show clear direction, and where there is heaviness, bring relief. Dear Father, may this person feel secure in knowing they are not lost, for their ways are known to you. May every detail of their routine from rising to bed be under your care. May your head rest on the pillow, and may it feel like you can truly rest, for the Lord's eyes never sleep. Now pray this silent prayer. God, I know that you know my ways. I surrender to you the paths I travel and trust in your care. Then, take a deep breath and allow the peace of the Lord to guard your mind. He already knows tomorrow and has already prepared the best for you. Sometimes the day ends with so many mixed emotions that we don't even know how to put into words what we feel. The psalmist reminds us, "Before a word is on my tongue, you know it completely, Lord." This means that God doesn't depend on your eloquence. He doesn't wait for well-formulated speeches. He searches the heart, understands the silence, and comprehends even the groans that don't turn into sentences. When your mind is too tired to pray, He still knows what you need. This verse brings a wonderful freedom. There's no need to worry about speaking correctly, beautifully, or completely before God. He already knows the word before you say it. This includes the timid requests, the pleas you keep hidden, the tears you couldn't translate into prayer. Even what you think is too small to ask for is before Him. And even what seems confusing to you is clear to Him. Perhaps some nights you feel the weight of not being able to pray as you would like. A weary mind finds no words and lips are silent. But know that there is no flaw in this. Silence also speaks before God. He understands what the heart is trying to say. Your prayer is not measured by the number of words, but by the sincerity of your inner self. And this inner self is fully known by the Lord. This care from God shows how close and intimate He is. He is not a distant God who needs to be convinced with many words, but a loving Father who understands the simplest sigh. Jesus Himself taught that we need not use empty repetitions, because the Father already knows what we need before we ask. When you lie down and sigh in weariness, He is already listening and responding. There are times when the pain is so intense that your voice fails. In those moments, remember that God not only hears your voice, but also reads your soul. He interprets the silence, welcomes your tears, and gives form to what you were unable to express. This certainty should ease your heart today. Nothing you feel is ignored by Him. No unspoken word is lost in God's presence. And when you can pray, every word is also precious. The psalmist elsewhere declares, "Let the words of my mouth and the meditation of my heart be pleasing in your sight, O Lord." This shows that even thoughts, even before they become words, are known and received by God. He rejoices when you share, but He also understands when you can only rest in silence. Lord, I pray now that this life may understand that there is no need to fear not knowing what to say before you. You know the words before they are spoken, and even what is not spoken is already understood. Transform, Father, every silence into prayer, every sigh into praise, every tear into intercession. May this person feel the freedom to simply be before you without pressure or demands. May this night, Father, as the mind slows down and the body seeks rest, there be the certainty that you are listening. May this person's heart be soothed by the knowledge that they don't need to find all the words because you already know everything. Bring peace to the weary heart, rest to the restless soul, and show that in you there are no incomplete prayers, only beloved children being welcomed. Now, as you lie down, practice simply being silent for a few moments. Let God read your heart. Effortlessly, take a deep breath and surrender this moment to Him. If words fail you, don't worry. He already understands. If there is only a thought or an emotion, that is enough. The Lord transforms even the unspoken into an answer and peace. When night falls, the mind often tries to bring up memories, fears, or worries that steal peace. It is at this moment that the verse reminds us, "You hem me in behind and before, and lay your hand upon me." This is a powerful truth. No matter what arises against you, God has already surrounded you on all sides. His presence is like a constant shield. Nothing goes unnoticed before Him, and nothing happens without His knowledge. The Lord's hand is not light enough to fail, nor heavy enough to wound, but firm enough to protect and guide. Imagine now, as you prepare to rest, the scene of God surrounding your life. Behind, He guards your past, preventing old mistakes from defining or condemning you. Ahead, He opens paths and ensures that the future is in His hands. And upon you, His hand rests, bringing peace. This image is more than symbolic. It is real. The Creator of the universe not only sees you, but surrounds you like a wall. During the night when vulnerabilities seem greatest, it's natural to feel fear. But remember, you are not lying in an unprotected place. The Lord Himself sends angels to encamp around those who fear Him. Darkness cannot overcome divine protection. Even in the silence when everything seems still, God is active, surrounding, guarding, and sustaining your life. How many times have you felt alone in your room, believing no one noticed your pain? Know this, even there God's hand was upon you. He is the one who watches over you while you sleep, who neither gets distracted nor slumbers. His presence is constant and vigilant. If thoughts insist on bringing insecurity, remember, the Lord is closer than the very air you breathe. Lord, I pray now for this life that rests in your presence. Place your hand upon her, visibly, palpably in spirit, so that all fear may be dispelled. May she feel the invisible embrace of your protection. May the angels sent guard every corner of this home. May peace reign in her thoughts, and may no arrow of the enemy find its way here. Father, enfold her behind, before, and above her as your word declares. Beloved Father, may every turbulent thought now be silenced by the certainty of your resting hand. May this heart know that it need not fight alone, that it need not defend itself alone, that it need not carry burdens not made for it. You are the faithful protector, the unshakable shield, the safe shade in the heat of afflictions. Pour out this night a profound peace that surpasses all human understanding. Now as you lie down, visualize this. The hand of the Lord, gentle and strong, resting upon your head. Imagine this hand bringing refreshment to your thoughts, removing anxiety, dispelling fear, healing the weary soul. Your every breath can be accompanied by the touch of peace that comes from this loving hand. There is no safer place than this, under God's hand. When you think about the day that has passed or the one to come, remember, He has already surrounded you behind and before. Your past can no longer imprison you because He has already protected you from it. The future should not generate fear because He has already sealed it with a promise. And the present is sustained by the hand that rests upon you now. This awareness can transform your sleep into deep rest, knowing that you are safe. Allow yourself to trust like a child resting in its father's arms. God's hand does not withdraw, does not fail, is not delayed. It is constant. Throughout the night, while you sleep, He remains active, taking care of details you cannot even imagine. What is invisible to you is perfectly known to Him. And the promise is clear. He will never leave you nor forsake you. If this message brought peace to your heart, remember that you can experience this same certainty every night. If you want to, feel this protection daily and be strengthened by the Word. Subscribe to our channel now. Together we will continue to remember that we are always under God's mighty hand. There is a question that echoes like comfort in the heart. Where can I go from your spirit? Where can I flee from your presence? The psalmist reminds us of an eternal truth. There is no place, no circumstance where God is not. If you ascend to the highest heaven, He is there. If you descend to the deepest abyss, He is there too. This is the assurance that the divine presence is inescapable, not as something oppressive, but as something that comforts, envelops, and provides security even in the most fragile moments. When night falls and the room becomes silent, many people feel the weight of loneliness. The darkness can seem frightening. Memories can intensify and thoughts can become heavier. But here is the truth. You are not alone. God is in this room with you. He sees every detail, knows every fear, and remains present even when no one else is. This awareness transforms the emptiest room into a space inhabited by God's glory, and perhaps at some point in your life, you felt that God was distant. Perhaps you've prayed and felt unanswered, or faced moments of pain believing you were abandoned. But the psalmist assures us, there is no hiding, no running away, because He is everywhere. This means that even when you don't perceive Him, He is still there. Even when your eyes can't see, your heart can rest in the certainty of His presence. Lord, I pray now for that person who, when lying down, perhaps feels fear of the darkness or the weight of loneliness. May in this very moment your presence be palpable, real, and transformative. Dispel every shadow that tries to frighten, every emptiness that tries to bring sadness, and replace it with light, with comfort, with the certainty of your company. May they, when closing their eyes, realize they are not alone, because the eternal God is in this place. Beloved Father, even in the valley of the shadow of death, you promise to be with us. If not even death can separate us from your presence, how much less the night that now presents itself. Teach this heart to rest in the fact that every second, every breath takes place before your loving gaze. May there be no room for panic or fear, but may the serenity of your companionship be greater than any darkness. God's presence is like a flame that never goes out. Even when everyone around you sleeps, He remains awake, watching over you. When the silence seems to scream louder, the gentle voice of the Holy Spirit whispers, I am here. This is the truth that renews hope. There is no hole too deep, no height too distant that can separate you from God's care. Allow yourself to feel this reality now. Take a deep breath, and as you exhale, imagine God Himself filling this space. See how fear fades when the awareness of His presence becomes vivid. Wherever you are, that place becomes sacred because the Lord dwells there. No wall can limit His presence. No closed room can keep Him from being by your side. Throughout life, we all seek a safe place, a refuge where we can rest without fear. The psalmist shows us that this refuge is not a physical space, but the presence of God. Where He is, there is rest. Where He is, there is security. And if He is everywhere, it means you will never again need to fear loneliness, because true refuge is always accessible. May this truth become a practical experience tonight. May your heart declare, "God is here with me." This simple phrase has the power to transform your mind and your atmosphere, because it is supported by the Word. And when you believe this, you will see how sleep becomes lighter, how thoughts become calmer, and how peace floods your inner self. It is very powerful when the psalmist declares, "Even when we think darkness will cover us, yet before God the night becomes as day." This means that darkness, which so often frightens and imprisons, has no power before the Lord's presence. For Him, there is no absolute darkness, because His light is able to penetrate the darkest places and transform what seemed dangerous into a place of rest. This is a promise we can hold on to with confidence, especially when night falls and fear tries to creep in. Many people associate night with heavy silence, with thoughts that become more intense, with worries that seem greater than they really are. But when we remember that God sees perfectly even in the darkness, we understand that we are not vulnerable. He does not get confused, does not lose His way, does not stumble in the darkness. He walks with us and, with His light, makes clear the path that to our eyes seems obscured. This is why fear of the night does not need to dominate your mind. The fear of darkness is often the fear of the unknown. But for God there is no unknown, because He is already everywhere, and everything is before His eyes. So when you lie down, you can rest knowing that what you cannot see, God sees with absolute clarity. And what He sees, He keeps. Lord, I pray now for this person who may lie down afraid of the darkness, who may have difficulty sleeping because of the insecurity that the night brings. Illuminate, Father, every shadow in this room with your presence. May they, when they close their eyes, realize that no darkness can dispel your light. Transform the atmosphere of this room into a space of peace, where every corner is filled with your glory. Beloved Father, the psalmist David declared, "The Lord is my light and my salvation. Of whom shall I be afraid?" May this truth be engraved now in this person's heart. May fear be replaced by the assurance of your protection. May every breath be calm. May every heartbeat be lulled by the confidence that divine light illuminates even the thoughts of the night. God's light is not just a lamp that illuminates the outside, but a flame that warms the inside. It is this flame that dispels the darkness of the mind, that dispels thoughts of anguish, and brings hope even when everything around seems dark. By allowing this light to shine within you, sleep becomes lighter, and the soul rests in security. Imagine, for a moment, that the Lord Himself shines a light on your life now. A light that does not blind, but calms. A light that does not disturb, but warms. A light that fills your room, your mind, and your heart with the certainty that there is no room for darkness to dominate. This light is the real presence of God, which transforms night into day and fear into peace. Even in moments when everything seems confusing, God's light reveals the way. Even when the soul feels heavy, this light brings comfort. Even when life's memories try to bring darkness, the Lord's presence transforms it into clarity, hope, and confidence. There is no darkness strong enough to resist what comes from God. Therefore, as you lie down today, declare in your heart, "Even in the night, God's light surrounds me." Repeat this phrase like a gentle prayer until peace fills your mind. Let this truth become so real that fear finds no place within you. Because when the word is spoken, the light of God's presence manifests. When we think about the origin of life, we often imagine only the natural process. But the psalmist reminds us of a much deeper truth. Every detail of our being was woven by the hands of God. Even before we saw the light of day, the Lord was already shaping our essence. Every feature, every part of our body, and even that which carries our most intimate identity. This means that we are not the product of chance, but the result of the care of a Creator who acts with perfection and purpose. The problem is that anxiety, comparisons, and life's judgments try to convince us otherwise. How many times have you felt small, inadequate, or worthless? But this word reminds us that we were wonderfully created. There is no error in God's design. Every part of who you are has a reason, a purpose, and above all, it was created with love. This needs to be the foundation of your identity, especially when doubts or insecurities try to creep into your mind. When we lie down to rest, it is often in this moment of silence that the mind tries to bring up painful memories or thoughts of inferiority. But may this night be different. May you, as you close your eyes, hear God's voice saying, "I made you wonderfully, and within you is beauty and worth that no one can erase." This is the foundation that sustains our true rest. Dear Father, I pray for this person now, asking that you fill their mind with this powerful truth. Where there are thoughts of rejection, place acceptance. Where there are feelings of inferiority, place security in who they are in you. Where there are doubts about their own worth, Lord, gently and clearly show them that they were created in a special way, that they were desired, planned, and loved from the womb. Lord, help this person to rest today not with a mind filled with criticism or worry, but with a soul filled with gratitude. May they, instead of lying down thinking about what's missing, be grateful for the simple fact of existing, of breathing, of being the work of your hands. May every heartbeat as they fall asleep be a reminder that life is precious and that there is a greater purpose in every detail. When we understand that we were created by God, the weight of comparison loses its power. We don't need to be like others because we weren't called to be copies, but rather original works of the Creator. And every original work has value. Resting in this truth is like laying your head on a soft pillow. The mind relaxes, the heart finds peace, and the body can finally rest. So tonight, choose to exchange thoughts of doubt for thoughts of gratitude. Remember the times you felt cared for by God, the small and large details of life that show He cares. Because the same God who designed your existence is the God who watches over your sleep now. Imagine, as you prepare for bed, the Lord as in see, artist looking at the work He has created and smiling with joy, because He is satisfied. This is how He looks at you, not with criticism, but with love, with care, and with pride in who you are. This image, held in your heart, has the power to dispel any restlessness that tries to steal your peace. Declare with faith, "I am wonderfully made." Let this truth lull your thoughts until sleep comes. And when you wake tomorrow, may you be reminded again that no matter what anyone says, you are the fruit of God's perfect work. This is the security that sustains life. There is something deeply comforting in knowing that nothing we experience escapes God's gaze and care. The psalmist reminds us that every day of our lives was already written in the Lord's book, before any of them even happened. This means that there is no surprise for Him, no detail forgotten, no circumstance beyond His control. Each day, each night, each tear and each smile lie before the Creator who guides history perfectly. How many times when you go to bed have you been restless, thinking about tomorrow? Perhaps worried about a decision, a challenge, or even the uncertainty of the future. But this word reminds us, tomorrow is already in God's hands. He has already written what will come, and this care is not impersonal, but full of love and purpose. You don't have to carry the weight of what has not yet happened alone, because the Lord has already done it. God didn't just coldly write your days like someone jotting down appointments in a diary. He wrote them with care, taking into account every detail of who you are, every need, every dream, every struggle. Even your sleepless nights are part of this story that He already knows and in some mysterious way uses to shape and strengthen you. Dear Lord, I pray now that this person will surrender each day of their life into your hands. May their weary heart find rest in the certainty that you are already there tomorrow. May every doubt and fear about the future be exchanged for trust and peace. Teach us, Father, to rest not in human control, but in your sovereign control, which never fails. I also ask, Lord, that the heart of this life be protected from anxiety. May, when we lie down, our thoughts not run to the uncertainties of what has not yet happened, but rest in the fact that each day has already been written by you. Calm, Father, the agitated mind, and grant it the lightness of one who knows that tomorrow need not be feared because it is safe in your hands. You may not understand why some situations happen right now, but remember, the author of your story doesn't make mistakes. He doesn't write meaningless chapters. Everything he allows has a purpose that in due time will be revealed. Resting in this truth means letting go of the burden of having to understand everything and simply trusting in God's care. As you rest, remember that tomorrow is already written. You don't need to control every detail because the Lord has already prepared the way. This is like handing the wheel of a long journey to someone who knows exactly where to go. It's trusting and resting in the back seat, knowing you're safe. So as you lie down today, say a simple, silent prayer. Lord, my days are in your hands. This declaration has the power to soothe your heart and renew your mind because it reaffirms that you are not at the mercy of chance. You are in the hands of the God who wrote every line of your life. And when you wake up tomorrow, instead of worrying about what the day will bring, remember that this day was already before God, before you were even born. Walk with this confidence and allow it to transform your routine, your choices, and your way of dealing with challenges. I invite you to continue being strengthened by messages that renew your trust in God's care. And remember that each new day has already been written by Him. Subscribe to our channel. This way, you will have daily words that nourish your faith and bring peace to rest better every night. What immense beauty it is to realize that God's thoughts toward us are precious and countless, more numerous than the grains of sand. This means that even when you feel forgotten, God is thinking of you. When worries occupy your heart, the Lord is already contemplating your life with thoughts of peace in the future. He doesn't forget any detail, and every thought He has of you is filled with love and purpose. Often, our minds are invaded by anxieties, painful memories, or insecurities about tomorrow. But the psalmist invites us to shift our focus. Instead of harboring these peace-robbing thoughts, it's time to rest in the fact that the Creator of the universe fills His mind with memories of you. He doesn't think of judgment or rejection, but of kindness, care, and guidance. These thoughts of God are not fleeting. They don't change with the day or our mood. They are eternal and constant, grounded in His perfect character. When you lie down, you can be sure that even in sleep, God remains thinking of you, watching over your life, sustaining your heart. This truth transforms how we face the night and the challenges that lie ahead. Dear Lord, I pray now for this person who perhaps lies down with a mind burdened with worries. Replace, Father, restless thoughts with your thoughts of love. May every idea that tries to steal sleep be silenced by the certainty that you think of them with tenderness and care. May the peace of your spirit be like a gentle balm, soothing every area of their mind. May they, as they lay their head on the pillow, not rehash the worries of the day, but remember, God's thoughts toward me are peaceful. Father, may this truth fill the empty spaces and dissolve the shadows of fear. Your word says that you are a God of mercy, and I believe that you have prepared greater and better things than they can imagine. Perhaps you feel small in the face of life, but remember, the fact that the eternal God thinks of you is already proof of your worth. If human thoughts sometimes hurt, confuse, and create pain, God's thoughts bring healing, hope, and life. Let these truths be stronger than any lie that tries to take root in your mind. And when the night seems too long, remember, even while you sleep, God never stops thinking of you. He doesn't leave, doesn't get distracted, doesn't forget. His thoughts of kindness continue to flow like a spring that never runs dry. This certainty can soothe even the most weary soul. As you rest today, do an exercise of faith. Imagine your restless thoughts being delivered into God's hands, and in return, Receive his thoughts of peace filling your mind. Visualize this spiritual exchange and allow it to bring immediate relief. And tomorrow, when you wake up, don't start the day already immersed in worries. Remember, God's thoughts for your life have been active since dawn. Walk with the confidence that he is guiding your steps with love. We have reached a special moment in this prayer, where the heart opens completely before God. The psalmist concludes by saying, "Search me, O God, and know my heart. Try me and know my troubles." This is a total surrender, an invitation for the Lord to examine even the most hidden corners of the soul. We often carry burdens that even we ourselves cannot identify, but God, who knows every detail, is able to reveal, heal, and restore. Resting is not just laying down the body, it is allowing the mind and heart to be purified. When you ask God to search your inner self, you're allowing him to remove what causes anxiety, fear, and sadness. It is like opening a window in a dark room and letting light in. God's presence dispels all shadows and brings clarity, peace, and lightness. And you know, there is nothing more liberating than being known completely and yet loved completely. You can trust the Lord because he does not come to condemn, but to transform. When he shows something that needs to be changed, it is always with the purpose of leading to the path of life, the eternal path where there is true rest. Lord, tonight I place before you this precious life that prays with me. Search this heart, Father, and reveal what still weighs on me, what still causes restlessness. Lovingly remove every invisible burden that takes away peace. Purify the mind of negative thoughts and fill it with the serenity that only your Holy Spirit can give. Create, Lord, a pure heart and renew within this person a steadfast spirit. May they, as they sleep, experience the lightness of someone who has surrendered everything into your hands. May no worry fall asleep with them, but only your presence remain, warming and guarding their soul. May each breath this night be marked by the peace that comes from you. And may they, upon waking, feel that something has been transformed, that a new breath has been breathed into their life. May their heart be lighter, their mind calmer, and their spirit stronger to follow your ways. Before you close your eyes, make this prayer your practice. Ask God to search, cleanse, and guide you. This simple surrender opens doors to deep rest and a life aligned with his desires. You don't have to carry anything alone. The Lord has already shouldered your burdens and leads you with steady hands on the eternal path. Do you want to continue living guided by this presence that examines, transforms, and guides? Then subscribe to our channel. We will walk together every night, learning to rest in God's grace and trusting that he always has the best path to show us. Sleep peacefully, knowing that the Lord has already taken care of every detail. You are searched, known, loved, and kept forever.